Okay. I guess I'm alive here. And I wanted to do this video just to show my gratitude and to tell you how much that I appreciate all of the work that you folks do in science and the social sciences. I really am grateful for graduate students and PhD students and researchers around the world because it is tough doing those things that you actually do. So this is my video for you to say thank you so much for doing all the things that you do in your career. So if you don't know me, I'm Professor Dave Maslach. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There are so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor for to help you out as much as I possibly can. So two things have happened to me in the last little bit, what makes me sort of think about that you guys just need a lot more gratitude and a lot more, somebody actually telling you that we really appreciate who you are and what you're actually doing. And it doesn't matter if you win awards and things like that. The first thing is my wife works in animal care, and she gets a lot of clients that comes in every day, at least once a week, and they bring letters, and they bring thank you notes, they bring donuts, they bring all sorts of things that say thank you to them. And that's one thing that you actually don't get a lot in science, and you don't get a lot as graduate students. You don't get a lot as PhD students or as researchers. As somebody coming in and actually saying thank you for all of the hard work that you actually do. And I know that this is one of the things that is really challenging with what you're doing. So, first of all, that you get students that might not appreciate you actually pushing them and sort of stretching them, but at the same time, you do a lot of stuff that's invisible to the outside world that people don't appreciate and people don't necessarily see. So I want to say thank you because of that it is such it's kind of a thankless job in a lot of different ways. So I would just wanted to reach out to you and say how much I actually appreciate who you are and what you're actually doing and I value that journey. So the second thing that happened to me recently, and I'm very grateful for this, is I was able to get the COVID-19 vaccine. And this is something that is truly a scientific marvel to see what has happened in the course of a year. So these vaccines, like drug development, normally takes it takes a decade to do drug development. And in this scenario where we've got the COVID-19 vaccine within roughly a year, it is a modern marvel, and we should appreciate it for what it actually is, that this is a miracle to actually put this all together. And it couldn't have been done on, it's not just one country. It is not just one researcher. It is not one pharma company. It is the whole world coming together in a scientific effort to push this thing forward, to actually develop something. And I was just thinking about how much I actually appreciate that we have this infrastructure that's available that allows us to do these kind of things, right? So it is miraculous that we have these things. So, YouTube is miraculous that we can actually do these things at this moment. I could talk to you and talk to different people around the world. So I just really sincerely want to say thank you to all of you that are working in scientific careers and doing research or doing something that's related or thinking of going into scientific careers, as that maybe you're a graduate student and you're thinking of going and doing a PhD or doing research. It is a really tough job, but at the same time, it is super important. It's like almost in a lot of ways, it's almost like being a religious leader, in that there's a lot of sort of thankless components to it. But at the same time, if you remove that component of our society, then we don't have we're missing a huge part of our life that's very important. So I just want to say thank you. What you do at this moment, it is very important, and don't forget about that. So I want you to always come back to that and appreciate the fact that you are doing something that's incredibly important, and don't belittle yourself when you're doing these things. It's going to seem like what you're doing is very tiny, And it's going to seem that it's like non-important because you're doing these things day in and day out, but it is important what you're doing. You are making a difference no matter what thing that you're studying on. If you're studying, bacteria on the wings of a butterfly, that is incredibly important to have that information for the future that we don't have at this moment. And it might seem little tiny in little tiny bits, but that is how we actually build on what we understand about this world, right? So that bacteria, understanding that bacteria on the wings of a butterfly could be the next vaccine that we get or the next cure for something else. And so having that understanding and knowing that your little bitty thing, it is vitally important for this world. So I just want to say thank you for all that you do. And I appreciate everything that you do, even though it's a thankless, a lot of the stuff is thankless that you do, and it is tough. But at the same time, I do appreciate everything that you're doing at this moment. So if there's any questions, if there's no questions at this moment, I'm going to sign off. But I just wanted to say thank you once more. And I know that there's a couple of people that are sitting watching this. I appreciate everything that you're doing. I appreciate you going into scientific careers and research careers, but at the same time, I also appreciate you being here and following along on this channel and following this journey. So actually, I should probably tell you with this journey, what it's about and what you sort of don't, since you're here. I'm trying to create this sort of software platform where we can get feedback on our writing and get better at doing research, but at the same time, allowing people, researchers in the background to do experimental work on this platform. And the only way that you could do this, what I've realized, is to just, keep getting the word out and keep talking and really keep pushing this forward. So you can see me develop and become the person that who I am as I sort of talk about this day in and day out. But you really see that the only way that I am making any progress in my own world is simply because of who you are and what you're actually doing, and that the fact that you're following along, that is incredible. So with that, thank you so much for being who you are, and I appreciate it. I appreciate everything that you do. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye. I think I could turn this off. Here we go.